Here we go. Welcome into another edition of the Daily Puck Drop, episode 93. Monday, May 13th, number 93. Did Randall wear 93 for the Seahawks? Number 93. God, I'm just going to be missing an obvious one. 93. When I think 93, here's what I always think of. I think of 1993. I think of the Seattle Supersonics, and I think of my favorite basketball team. And I know that they lost in the Western Conference Finals. That team that lost to the Suns, and where Charles Barkley shot 1,010 free throws. That's what I think of every time when I think of 1993. Every time. Anytime I see the number 93, 1993, that's my first train of thought. We're going to get to the Sonics here in a little bit, and just the NBA. All right, episode 93, Monday, May 13th. I hope everyone's weekend was great. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and especially the moms of all those Little League parents and those club baseball parents that spent their entire weekend, like the Puckett household did, in North Bend, and then also in beautiful, lovely, and close, really close, Chehalis, Washington, for Bombs for Moms. God, and I think I surveyed all the moms who participated in Bombs for Moms this weekend in this this 2-day baseball tournament, and I think they all said the same thing. No place I'd rather be. No place I'd rather be than be sitting outside for 14 hours in the heat. But you know what this guy did right here? I should get like parent of the year for our baseball team. I should. Okay, I don't do anything. I'm just kind of team help out guy. This is not Little League. That's like a club baseball stuff. So separate from Little League. So what I did yesterday, because I knew all these moms were going to show up. Okay, we split these games in North Bend. We were hoping to win both, because if you win both in North Bend, you stay in North Bend. So we were just crossing fingers we would stay there, but we didn't. That's okay. So we split, and we find out that we've got to play in Chehalis on Sunday at 3:30. And if you win that first game, you play at 5:30. So basically, every mother, their Mother's Day has been ruined. Has been just thrown out. Whatever they wanted to do. And I believe every mom showed up for their kids. Sting Baseball, shout out to those boys. And they all were there, all supporting their little young ones in this 2-day tournament. Again, down in Chehalis, which is, again, just a nice 90-mile drive down south. Takes about an hour and 40 minutes. And what did this guy do? I packed a cooler full of what we like to call, and actually I can't give credit. I got to give the CEO credit for this one. Mimosa. We packed 3 bottles. I mean, I thought 3 was going to be enough. 3 bottles of Prosecco and some orange juice. And these moms just barreled through this stuff. But it was great. So we celebrated Mother's Day on a wonderful ballpark down there in Chehalis, the Chehalis Sports Complex, which is unbelievable. Hey, Seattle, we shouldn't have anything like that up here. I mean, who would want 4 pristine baseball fields that have fences and has a concession stand and has like turf infield with grass outfield, and it's maintained? And here's the thing, Seattle Parks Department, you know what they have there? They've got signs that say dogs aren't allowed on the field, huh? How about that? That's something new. And they don't allow anything there. And they got a huge water park there, like a spray park. It's unbelievable. Already looking into property in Chehalis. I think the Daily Puck Drop and pucksports.com would kill it probably in Chehalis, Washington. But again, thanks to all the moms that showed up there yesterday. All looked like they were having a good time. Whether they truly were having a good time, I don't know. But shout out Bombs for Moms. Sting fell short in the championship game, but that's okay. Boys played hard. Great team. Shout out to, who did we play? Nisqually. Good team right over there. The Nisqually Blackhawks. All right, let's get on to the DPD. We appreciate you watching, listening, however you're doing it. I get the question all the time. What's the best way to support you? It all counts. So don't worry about it. So if you're watching on YouTube, please just like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. That's a great comment section. I try to read and get back to most of you there in the comment section. If you're on or listening on the podcast, whenever and wherever, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, they all count. I should also mention we have fixed for you Android users YouTube Music. So if you go to YouTube Music and you download it and just search Puck Sports, you will find it there. Easy. And I kind of like YouTube Music because you can toggle back and forth between the video and audio. So if you don't know, used to be Google Play, I believe. Now it's YouTube Music. All right, let's get into it. So we got the M's. We've got the bet under is taking a hit. It's just leaking oil. We got an audio of these guys who are great on Twitter and Instagram from John Boy Media. They listed annoying fan bases, and we're going to get to that here quickly. NFL schedule comes out on Wednesday. Hopefully everyone's pants are still on. We have turned this into a national holiday. Why not? We may do something special around that, I think, because everybody else is. We might as well do the same thing as well. NBA draft lottery. Now stay with me on the NBA draft lottery. You're gonna. I don't care about the NBA draft lottery, but I'm gonna bring something up here later that I think you may care about it in a second. We've talked about this before. Just a side note: the Caitlin Clark factor. What does it mean to kids? I'm in another example of just how impactful she is. Little League update from Fisher Plumbing. And then a note on Pucks PGA Championship Pool is back. And boy, do we've got some prizes for you. If you are a golf fan, okay, the prize package that we are giving away, we did this for the Masters, but the prize package we are giving away for Pucks PGA Championship Pool is fantastic, especially if you are a golf fan. Let's say you're a fringe golf fan. You're going to love this one. Of course, we end every daily puck drop, the DPD, with, hey, what the puck? All right, let's get into the Mariners here real quick. The Julio thing, it was awesome to see Julio kind of bounce back yesterday on Sunday. Going back to Saturday, I really enjoyed what Scott Service did on Saturday. Pulled him, into the office, sat there and showed him, here's some stats. This is where I think the analytics and things are cool, especially in baseball, because I think it backs up what your eyes see with actual numbers for these guys. And here's a quick sidebar and side note here. These players don't look at these stats as much as you think. In fact, if you go up and talk to any of these guys and ask them about all these stats and WRC plus and WOBA and all this kind of stuff, barrel rate, the majority of them do not look at it, do not understand it, and don't care about it at all. I mean, that it is a real fan-driven thing and front office thing. But just trust me, you go up and talk to these guys. Of course, there's going to be some that do get it and understand it, but a lot of them just don't, and frankly don't pay attention to it. But what I'm going to say, where the eyes and the feel of the sport back up the numbers, is this. When you watch him just with your eyes and see how hard he's been hitting the ball, I mean, it's obvious. Now, baseball is an unlucky sport at sometimes. You can hit the crap out of the ball, and it just finds the glove. And I watched, me and my son did this. I mean, I watched over 18 hours, 20 hours of baseball this weekend, combined with Little League and club ball. I mean, I watched a ton of it. And not just our kids, but other kids. I mean, I saw so many kids just hit it on the screws. And one, either some kid just made a great play, or two, he just sticks his glove up there and it finds it. It happens. It's just baseball. And I think that's a lot of that has been happening to Julio. Now, some of it is he's not taking advantage of the fastballs and not exploding on it. So I think there is some things that he could do better. I don't like. I mean, and maybe it's a minor thing. I mean, he's tweaked now, going back to what his stance was last year, because he had changed it in spring training. Sometimes, baseball players are like golfers sometimes, and I don't understand. I understand it, and then I don't understand it. because guys like to tweak all the time with their golf swings, and baseball players are kind of the same way. They just always are tweaking. But I think the very best who just have this long sustained success, when you kind of are comparing these two sports a little bit, because I think there's so much mental side of both swings. And I think they're very comparable. Not the swing itself. I'm just saying like the mentality of the swing is that just stick with it. Stick with what works. He had a great season last year. Okay? He did. There was nothing he needed to really change at all. Just roll with it. And I think guys tend to just screw around a little bit too much. And I think he probably did that. And maybe he worked with Jarrett DeHart on, I think it was pregame on Saturday. Maybe it's getting back to that a little bit, back to where he was last year. One thing that I've noticed, and I want to go back and watch more of it. One thing that he did, now for you people watching, you're going to see what I'm doing. For those listening, he would always, and I love this trick, by the way. And we've tried to tell our kids to do this, or some of them, if it feels comfortable. But I don't know if he's done it much this year, but he always, flap his right elbow into his side to tell him, get that elbow inside on your hip so you can turn on the pitch, so you can load it correctly. And I just love that little drill. I don't know if, to me, now I could be wrong, it doesn't seem like he was doing that a lot this year, or maybe has gotten rid of it. I'm gonna go back and watch more of his at bats, but just a little something like that. Getting him set, like a preset. Golfers have a preset. He has a preset. That was always kind of his preset, to get ready to hit. But the one thing that I think that he has struggled with this year, and will be something to watch as this season goes on, and I think as his career goes on, he's still such a very young player. And Divish and I have talked about this a lot on the show. We've brought it up with Bill Kruger. I'll probably bring it up with Bill Kruger again today when we release his episode coming up at 1 o'clock today. Even Jim Duquette, I'll bring it up to Jim on that podcast that will come out at 1 o'clock today, is he puts a lot of pressure on himself. And I think it was Mitch Garver or one of the other veterans on the team that said, hey, we go as Julio goes. And I think he understands that, and he gets it. And I think he puts the weight of the organization, the weight of this team on his shoulders. And I think there's some good and bad with it. I think when he is going great, as you see, look at the game yesterday. He has a great game offensively. Look what they do. They look so much longer. They look like the team that that when they put it together, they could be. But we can wring our hands, and I'll give credit to Divish because he brought it up on Friday's show. You can go back and listen to that one. We can wring our hands about Ty France and Mitch Garver and Jorge Polanco and all the other issues that they have offensively. The guy that has got to get it going is the center fielder. I mean, you look at his numbers, the slugging down, OPS. I mean, everything is down for him. That's why yesterday, and going back to Saturday, was such a good sign. And I'll just full circle what Service did on Saturday. He saw that he hit the ball so hard. And again, you don't need all the numbers and the stats to tell you that. You can just watch it yourself and just see how hard the ball was hit, the sound of the ball coming off the bat. But then Service can take those numbers and then even say to Julio, how did you feel up there? I felt like I'm seeing it, and it felt great. Just unfortunately got out. Well, here's the statistical, here's the stats to back that up. And so he sees that, so it just reaffirms what he believes. And then he goes out there on Sunday, and just has a great game. Should have had his third home run. He almost missed that. I mean, he was like 6 inches or so away from knocking that one out. Sprayed the ball, looked comfortable, and looked like the old Julio. But I do want to go back and just kind of praise Scott Service here for a second. I mean, we kind of get on managers all the time. Hey, what do they do? A guy hands them a lineup and they go put it out. And then when they get in game, it's all kind of pre-programmed. They don't do much. And I think there is some truth to that. But I also think there's a human element to managing, to coaching. And I think a lot of it has to do, how do you handle your players when they're struggling? Like how do you get a message to them? And I think just a little thing from Scott Service of bringing Julio into the office, not to yell at him, not to, hey, I'm going to give you a day off. Any of that stuff was just, hey, stay the course. You're going to be fine. It's a long season. Trust in yourself. Here were the positives of today's game. Yeah, you didn't get a hit, and you may dwell on the box score, but don't dwell on the box score. Just think of where that hit was. Shoot, I had a kid this weekend, same thing. Frustrated, didn't have any hits in a game, but 2 of the 3 at bats hit the ball as hard as anyone did uh, during the weekend. And just a right fielder just was running back and put his glove up and closed his eyes and caught a ball. And he doesn't make that. He makes that play 1 out of 10 times, and that's what we tried to tell him. Like, hey, you're fine. 9 out of 10 times that ball is dropping, you got a triple. So, but it's hard because you just see the numbers and say, oh well, God, I was 0 for 3. I didn't get a hit. But it's sometimes it's also how you hit the ball and it's how you get outs. And I think Julio, his hard hit percentage is up over the last year. His exit velocity is better than last year. He's hitting the ball hard. It's just not dropping for him. Okay, so, but again, one thing that he's going to have to deal with is, and this is every superstar in any sport has got to deal with this, is when you paid that money and that organization looks at you to be the guy, how do you react when that organization is put on your shoulders? And I think for him, I think he at times can take a little step back. He can't do it all himself in baseball. No one can. There's no one that can do it all themselves. I mean, go look at Shohei Ohtani. He couldn't do it by himself, and he was a premier player. He's playing with the Angels, and they didn't do anything. Never sniffed the playoffs. So he had to go join another team with great players. He's still a great player, but now he's got better players around him. I think the one part where this front office needs to get better at, you cannot waste this guy's years, man. Can't do it. Everybody needs help. Especially in this sport. He needs help. He needs help. He needs a lot of it. This is why this team's got to be ultra aggressive at the deadline as much as they possibly can be. George Kirby's going to get the ball today, and we'll get the update on the M's bet under. And of course, we always look at the DraftKings Sportsbook app for the total. We'll get to that in a second. For George Kirby, though, kind of feels an important game here as they start a 3-game series with the Royals tonight. And I say that not because he has struggled immensely. It's just the last 2 starts have been weird, right? 2 starts ago, it was the knee. He comes out, but then it's Scott Service, talking about the knee. Then they go talk to Kirby, and Kirby's like, he's fine. So then all of us putzes are like, well, what's the deal? What's going on? Do you have a knee injury or do you not have a knee injury? They were going to get a test, and then the test comes back and it's fine. He makes his next start. So it's certainly not bad because he didn't miss his next start. Kind of felt like there was something odd that was going on. Was it his knee? His knee's sore, but did they pre-schedule to kind of pull him out of the game after 88 because they want to save his arm? That's something that at least, on last week's show with Bill Kruger, Bill and I basically just said that. That's what it felt like to us. Then he goes in his next start, and he's not pitching great, by the way. He's not pitching great. He's not awful, but he's not pitching great. But yeah, they pull him again early. I think at that time it was at 70. And you're like, what's going on? And Service comes out right away and says, fine. He's not injured. He's healthy. Well, now he's healthy now? Because before you said he was dealing with a knee thing. But he just wanted to get him out because he just didn't like the way he was throwing the ball. So it's just been the last 2 starts have just been odd, and it's been uncharacteristic there of George Kirby. It hasn't been his normal just kind of go after guys, ultra aggressive. I think there's been a little bit of some emotion that has been missing from him. So I would just kind of watch closely tonight against a very good Royals team. How does he react on the mound tonight? How long do they pitch him? Is there going to be another pitch count or innings count on this guy tonight? How much rope are they going to give George Kirby tonight? But beyond that, I just want to see George Kirby kind of get back to being that Furious George type of character that he has been. He's certainly not in a mini slump at all, but there has just been this weird dynamic, it feels like, for the last few starts. And so I kind of want to just see what the reaction is, not only just from George Kirby, but also how Scott Service manages him and his workload coming up tonight as they start a 3-game series with the Royals, who are just a fun little baseball team. One thing we're going to ask Jim Duquette, because we did it on Twitter last week, Bobby Witt or Julio Rodriguez? You're starting a team today. Who would you take? Now, we're pre-programmed to say Julio, but I bet you most insiders would say Bobby Witt Jr. All right. Bet M's under summer. We're losing money. There's no way around it. We are losing money. We are 0-3 this weekend. Did not win one single game. Every single game went over. So for the season, the M's bet under summer, or bet M's under. I don't even know what I'm saying. I tried to combine summer and under. Bet M's under summer. Thank you. 4-7-1 on the season. So Kirby gets the ball tonight, 3-3, 4.15 ERA. Brady Singer, 3-1 with a 2.36 ERA. 3 earned runs in his last 4 starts. Total tonight, 7.5. Despite the 3-game losing streak, guys and gals, it is a marathon, not a sprint. We can quickly turn it right back around with 3 straight wins. Stay consistent. Stay strong. Okay? Stay strong. Bet the under. 7.5 the total. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download it today. There's the total, 7.5. Okay. I saw this on Instagram, and I follow these guys, and they're very funny. Talking Baseball guys. If you don't follow them. They're on Twitter, on X, also on Instagram. Do a bunch of videos. It's funny. Part of the John Boy media group. So they were doing this like a survey, or there was a survey done. And the survey was top 5. I think they say it here in the open, so but I'm just setting it up because I'm an idiot. Top 5 least annoying fan bases. So not most, least annoying fan bases.
Least annoying fan bases according to 1,000 surveys.
Orioles.
They are number 3 on the list.
Let's go with Cardinals.
No.
Oh, shit.
I'll say one of these are a little surprising to me.
Do you find them annoying?
Personally, no, but I think that there is a particular fan base that would.
Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays are number 5 on this list.
I have no problem with them. You have no problem with them. We know some people that do. Giants.
They are not on the list.
Damn it. We're going to keep going. The Rockies.
The Rockies are number 4 on this list.
Needed that. The Royals?
The Royals are number 2 on the list.
I'm trying to think of like pleasant interactions I've had. Mariners.
The Mariners are number 1 on the list. Jolly
Seattle.
Olive.
Let's go Seattle.
Okay, how do we take that? How do we take that? Now you're wondering, well, what do I mean? Who wants to be annoying? Yeah. But the reason people find fan bases annoying is because they win. And then they shove it in their face because they win. That's why. That's why when I saw this, I was like, oh, we're just like the lovable, we're just like the team that no one really cares about. That no one, that it doesn't matter. I mean, we were lumped in there with the Rockies. I don't know. Blue Jays, Canadian. Because Canadians are nice. But number 1 on the list. Okay, I mean, it's not a big deal. I just take it as, okay, fine, you don't want to be an annoying fan base. I get it. Totally understand it. But the reason behind why they are listed number 1, according to this survey, as the least annoying fan base is because people just don't think about them as a good baseball team. So they're not annoying because they haven't been any good. That's kind of the state here of Mariners baseball. Not this year. I'm just saying overall. We're a tortured fan base, folks. We really are. All we want. I want to be annoying. I mean, I know I am. But I'm just saying I want people on the outside to look at our fan base, right? Whether it's whoever it is, and go, well, I hate those guys. They're annoying. Well, because you win. Like if we polled NFL fans, there's no way that the Seahawks would make the least annoying group. There's fans here that find us annoying as hell, I bet. I mean, back in the day, if it was the Sonics, I bet it would be the same thing. Let's take whoever. I don't know. You're a college football fan. You think we did college football, the Husky fans would come? I'm just using the Husky fans because it's the number one college football team in this market. You think they would be on a list of least annoying? No, because mainly, well, one, they're annoying. Two, they've been successful. You're only on the list of least annoying because you're not good. That's why that stood out to me. So shout out to those guys talking baseball. It's very funny. Follow them on Instagram there and Twitter as well. NFL schedule gets released on Wednesday at 5:00. My God, there's gonna be people sitting in their basement with their pants off and the lotion out, if you know what I mean. We may do something special on Wednesday because we basically are going to have our pants off with lotion as well. The NFL schedule will get released Wednesday, 5:00. Leave a comment, kicking around the idea like we did for the NFL draft show, kicking around the idea of doing a live show on Wednesday. What do you think? You want a live show? Me, Puck and Friends, coming on at 5:00, going over the schedule, Puckett schedule. You know me. Despite a 17-game schedule, it'll be the same record, 12-4. I just will stick with 12-4. And then I'll just throw out the other game. 12-4 every year. I've been 12-4 since I was 10 years old. So I don't care what the schedule looks like. It just will be 12-4. All right. I'm consistent with it at least. Always consistent with the schedule. I'm always consistent with the record. 12-4. The Seahawks schedule. I just had it in front of me. Now I just lost it. The Seahawks 2024 schedule. Obviously, we don't know we know who they're playing. We don't know exactly when they're playing. Thanks, Tips. That's why they're doing the NFL schedule release on Wednesday, 5:00. But the opponents, home, of course, the division opponents, Cardinals, Rams, and 49ers. Packers come to town. Fun. The Dolphins come to town. Oh, my son's going to want to go to that game. He loves Tyreek Hill. Giants come to town. Do we boo Drew Lock or cheer him? Especially if he starts. Cheer him, right? There's no reason to boo Drew Lock. He didn't do anything, and then we get to see Natalie, and I'll be happy. Bills come to town. My wife will want to go to that game. CEO's had Josh Allen on her fantasy team for like 8 years. Vikings come to town. Broncos come to town. So Bo Nix coming to town to face the Seahawks. Let's see, how many rookie quarterbacks they're going to see? Just 2, right? J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings, Bo Nix with the Broncos. Who am I missing? You'll see Drew Lock with the Giants. I know he's not a rookie. Okay. Packers fans, they'll be infiltrating the damn place. All right, away games. Okay, Cardinals, Rams, Niners. Chicago. That'd be a fun one to go travel to, especially if that's for you Husky fans, especially if that Chicago game lines up, and I bet you it does. I bet you one of these 2 games lines up because they play the Lions again in Detroit. Bears, I bet you is early. And then I bet you the Huskies, if we know the schedule, traveling out to the Big Ten. That'll be a double dipper for you guys. They're at the Lions, at the Patriots, at the Jets, and at the Falcons. Well, Falcons would be a fun one. Go see Michael. I bet you Michael Penix could be playing at that point, depending on how Kirk Cousins does. But NFL schedule comes out again on Wednesday at 5:00. And we're throwing out around the idea of doing a live schedule release watch party Wednesday starting at 5:00. Leave comments below if you'd like us to do that on Wednesday. Caitlin Clark. Before I get the Caitlin Clark factor, actually, I'll touch on it right now because then I'll get to the NBA draft lottery. You want to know what her impact is? I did an episode with Iconic Sonics last week, and we talked about just what her impact is. And go check it out on their platform, Iconic Sonics podcast platform. We've seen it, the TV numbers, the revenue, the endorsements. But what I think is cool about the Caitlin Clark factor is this, because I think there's a lot of people that have been on the fringe, whether or not they like to watch the WNBA, or they like to watch women's basketball. And it's okay if you don't. See, sometimes when people say, well, it's just not for me, and everyone gets all up in arms about it. Well, why? Just because you don't like something doesn't mean that you think it's dumb or stupid. I don't know. I don't watch the WNBA a lot. Doesn't mean I don't like women's basketball. I do. I watch the NCAA tournament. Part of the WNBA, it's during the summer, but I will be watching when she comes to town, like many of you, when she comes to town on May 22nd. But my 10-year-old, the old vampire, was coming down today, and he saw the paper, and in the paper it was talking about how she's coming to town on May 22nd. Tickets and all that kind of stuff are through the roof, which they are. I think the cheapest ticket right now, if you go to Ticketmaster, StubHub, wherever, is $90 to get in, but it's in the nosebleeds. And he's like, I want to go to that game. My quick thing is, I think it's really cool, because I didn't have this growing up, and I didn't think this way, is you got a 10-year-old boy who loves sports, who loves all athletes, right? Loves, Julio and DK and all those guys. But it's pretty cool that when he sees Caitlin Clark on TV, or sees any videos of her, like on YouTube, all these guys do on these YouTube shorts, he stops and watches it. I think it's just pretty cool that a 10-year-old boy looks up to a pretty badass woman athlete. And I think that's cool. I think there's something to that. And, a lot of little girls, when they've been growing up, a lot of them have always had to look up to male athletes. And then, as women's sports gets better and better and better, they have women athletes to look up to. Boys, for the most part, if you're in 40s, we didn't really, I didn't look up to a woman athlete. It just wasn't kind of in my sports, kind of fandom, I guess, on a way to put it. And so to see that and see kind of that evolve, I think is pretty cool. So May 22nd, now I've got to go. Now I got to break the bank for tickets. $90 walk-in price. Oh, Lord. Can they just be a little bit cheaper, guys? Little League update quickly. Ballard Fisher Plumbing. Big victory on Saturday. Shout out, though, to Shoreline Little League, who we played. And I believe the team name is Sodom Chicken. Sodom Chicken was the sponsor. What a great team. Fun team. Great coaches. Great sportsmanship. Great ball field. Shoreline Little League that you guys have up there, up at Hamlin Park. On every Little League field should look like that one up at Hamlin Park. And then the umpire that was there, both of them, terrific. Unbelievable. Fun, informative, and it's just great all around. Just professionally run. So thank you to the Shoreline Little League. Fisher Plumbing, playoffs are right around the corner. We'll update you. We got the seedings are starting next week. And kids are gearing up. Dad is a mess. Not sleeping at all as we gear up there for a Little League playoff starting in a week. Okay, Pucks PGA Championship Pool is back. All you got to do, one-stop shop. All you got to do is log on to pucksports.com for details. All of it is right up there on the website, pucksports.com. Okay? And you'll see all the information there. It's going to take you to the actual Run My Pool site that's done by my guy, the Sandman. So he runs it, but all the details at pucksports.com. Go there, sign up. Now, when you click on the link, because it goes to like a Google page with a bunch of ads, don't click on any of the ads, all right? When you sign up for the pool, it's really easy, but it can be confusing. If you get anywhere where it asks you to enter credit card information, do not enter credit card information, okay? It's just those pop-up ads that, when you go to Google that pop up all the time. Don't click on any of those. I'm just telling you because I know last time we did it for the Masters, there were some people that were confused. So don't click on any of that stuff. It's free. You don't have to pay any money. It's 100% free, okay? Just log on to pucksports.com. You're going to pick 5 golfers, and how we base it is your 5 golfers, the amount of money that they earn. That's it, all right? The amount of money they earn, you're determining the winner. Here's the prize packages that we got. And if you're a golf fan, you're going to love it. Third place is going to get $100 to John Howie Steak. Okay. What golf fan doesn't like a good steak and doesn't like good appetizer? John Howie Steak. Second place gets a foursome at the home course with a golf cart. And first place prize is a round of golf for 2 at Chambers Bay. So if you're a golf fan, I think this is a great package. So first place, round of 2 of golf, Chambers Bay. Second place is a round of golf for 4 with cart at the home course. Third place gets $100 to John Howie Steak. No one else is doing that for you. Go to pucksports.com for all the details. All right. Hey, what the puck? I know I was going to go long on this one. I wanted to get more on this. One thing I noticed, and I never see it in Little League, but I do see it when my son plays, in this, club baseball stuff, where it's a little bit more intense and more serious and all that. And anybody parent that's gone through it, you know what I'm talking about. Here's what I don't understand. This is our first year doing it, so I've been oblivious to this. Plenty of friends that have done it. I've never gone to these tournaments before until this year. But one thing I get a kick out of at these tournaments, a couple of things. One, the amount of shit that people bring. I mean, tents, coolers, generators, barbecues. I mean, I've parents with two of those wagons that they're bringing with them. I mean, so much crap that people are bringing with them, and they all got the chairs now. I mean, we used to just sit on the bleachers, and then it went from the just sitting on the bleachers, which is uncomfortable, to then just like, okay, you get like at the football games or whatever, the little pads you would sit on. No, the pads aren't good enough. Then they came out with that little chair that kind of folds up and down, and you strap it on the bleacher. Now these people have these they look like lazy boy chairs. These like foam lazy boy chairs that are like 5 feet wide or something, and they're just setting them up there, taking up almost the entire goddamn bleacher, with like connected on it is a umbrella for the heat, because you can't be in the heat all day. And okay, so we got that. But one thing I really love, and I'm going to talk to you, and I hope coach or coaches that were in North Bend or Chehalis, you hear me when I say this. Fully dressed uniform club baseball coach, stop. Just stop. You're not playing anymore. Even if you did play, which I highly doubt that you actually played. Stop it. No one needs to see your 45-year-old fat ass in full uniform. Okay? With the tight-fitting white pants, with the moose knuckles, with the stirrups on, and then with the baseball jersey within the cutoff breaker on. You're not playing baseball. You're over there. It's 10-year-olds. What are you doing? And why do you have a stopwatch? To time little Johnny from home to first to second, but full uniform coach, travel ball guy. Nothing screams more douchebaggery than that. That's what I took away from this weekend. So if you're that guy or you know that guy, get them some help. There should be an intervention. Listen, we step in all the time if family and friends have a problem with addiction. It is time, and you're an enabler. Mom, cousin, aunt, uncle, elder parents on that team. You're an enabler to this behavior. Stop it. Get them to stop wearing full uniforms. They're not playing. In fact, I don't even think in Major League Baseball they should wear full uniforms. Not even college, not even high school. I think it's stupid. Like, all of it's dumb. You're not playing. Why are you in uniform? No other sport does it. Basketball coaches aren't in shorts. All right, full uniform. Football coaches aren't in a full. You see like Mike McDonald, like with shoulder pads on and a helmet. It's the dumbest thing in the world. At the professional level, it's stupid. And now it's leaking down to 10-year-olds. Just stop. And then lastly, hey, what the puck? M's dropping hot dogs out of the sky. Okay, did I miss the memo? When did this start? And I love it, by the way. Okay, I know some people don't like some of the things that they do over there. I personally love this. When did they start doing this? This is great. Are they the only ones that do this, by the way? Hot dogs are dropping out on little parachutes. And my only question is, does it come with ketchup on it? Because you know my stance. Because if it does, that would be the only problem. Okay, that's the only problem. But very cool idea what the Mariners are doing. And baseball dad, coach, stop. Take off the full uniform, please. Please, 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 please take off the full uniform. All right, that is the Daily Puck Drop, the DPD. We do it every single day, Monday through Friday. Drops at 10 o'clock every single day, wherever you find your podcasts. Pucksports.com's got all the info up there. Again, Pucks PGA Championship Pool is back. Pucksports.com for the very latest. Please subscribe and like all the videos there on YouTube. And of course, leave a comment there as well. And also, please like and subscribe there on Apple and Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts. Also, YouTube Music, Android users, great spot, great place to watch and listen there as well to Puck Sports, the Daily Puck Drop, the DPD as well. Coming up today, 1 o'clock episodes with Jim Duquette and Bill Kruger will be released. We'll talk to you tomorrow. As always, we promise to do that.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!